Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the south-afrifur podcast. You're listening to myself, Ivic Wolf, sitting here with our co-host, Scratch. We do not have a guest this evening. However, we are here to actually probably talk you through the next hour, probably annoy the living crap out of you, and more.
Some of you. Out of some of you.
Did I say all of you?
Well, you just like blanket said you like annoy the crap out of you. So we might annoy the crap out of some of you. So
Is that right?
So there's that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Some. Most. Most?
Some.
Can we say most?
No. Then why would you want to piss off most of the people?
It's worth.
Only piss off some of the people. You know who you are.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Those of you listening right now, if you're going to be pissed off with our voices, don't leave. Wait until we, actively actually do that.
Won't take
All
long
right.
by the looks of it.
So we have a couple of topics that we can go over today. I know that Scratch went to FanCon recently. We obviously had a Geek Fest recently as well. So lots of fursuiters out in those areas, making the name furry proud.
We hope.
Proud's the term, right?
We hope.
It's something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yes. So why don't you actually just talk to us about what happened at FanCon? And apparently you're very ecstatic about something that you either met and or saw.
Oh no. Well, okay. So FanCon is a sort of geek and comic centered. It's sort of like just like a very mini Comic Con that happens in Cape Town every year. Pardon me for 1 second. Yeah.
Pardon.
Yeah. So FanCon happens every year in the CTICC. It
Mm-hmm.
essentially boils down to a lot of people coming in cosplay and like nerding around. There's a whole bunch of people attend different sort of workshops and different panel discussions by some international comic artist guests and like cosplayers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
There are some local cosplayers that also sort of represented and had like a nice proper panel about like how cosplays come along in South Africa and what you can do to start and that kind of stuff, where you can find your resources, blah blah blah. Some talent shows, more panels by these international comic artists, and a lot of stuff for sale. Like a lot of comic works, a lot of stuff by local artists, all that kind of jazz. I mean, I believe Milo Wildcat also sold some stuff there, if I'm not mistaken. There
Yeah.
was the guy.
I know her.
Yeah, as do I. I believe there's a guy who made a comic by the name of Chew, who was there.
Chew?
Chew. It's about like sort of a like a paranormal detective who can sort of determine the cause of death or like see the last few minutes of someone's life by consuming some of the corpse's flesh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, that's the premise. So yeah, he was there. I think it was something Powell. I'm unsure, but yeah. So there's that.
Why would desecration?
You don't question the gift, dude. If it happens, it happens. Okay, you just use what you're given.
You question who gave it to you? Jesus.
Dude,
Wait.
I mean, it's
Sorry.
the Daredevil argument.
Continue.
Like you don't want the freaking chemical spill to happen.
Mm-hmm. You don't want it to blind you.
Exactly.
You don't want super hearing.
Yeah, you just go with it. It just happens.
Yeah, then suddenly you're just like a superhero because superheroes are awesome, right?
Some of them. Some of them are
Why can't be
asshats.
like why can't we be like normal people? Like what's his face? And
Like-
what's her name?
You mean like I don't know,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
John and Jane Doe?
Literally, Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like a whole bunch of like normal misfits flying around in a spaceship. The only real like extreme power that they have is kind of the power of friendship.
Have you seen
Mostly.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
I have not yet.
That will put a
Don't
hole in
spoil
your
it.
theory.
Mostly normal
Yeah.
misfits.
Yeah.
Look, he is still an alien. I get that. But the
Who?
thing is that like for him, normal isn't necessarily normal.
Who's an
But
alien?
or like it's well, I mean, it's obvious.
Chris Pratt's character, or
Yes,
well,
yes,
everyone else, I suppose, is an alien in every single way.
yeah. But I mean, so that means that they're all aliens and they're all special in their own ways, but on their own planets, they're kind of normal.
Yeah.
And together with the power of friendship, we will solve the world's problems. Give me a hug. Something like that. I don't know. Yeah,
Something to that effect.
there will be a point that I'm going to try to go through an entire podcast speaking in an Afrikaans accent. I think that should be like something that I can do.
Let that day not be today, please.
So tempted to go. Are you sure about that?
Fucking rustig, Vickers van der Merwe. You're not going for any Oscars this year.
You fucking prawn. Anyway,
God, that was a good movie.
it was actually awesome. So yeah, like that's obviously coming out.
When?
Badge and I actually intended to go to that movie, and then it got like too cold, so we decided to stay inside and play League.
Yeah, I thought you meant like that's coming out as in like, when did you hear about the District 9 sequel? Like, I don't even think it is a thing.
No, I wish there was though, because like there kind of needs to be a District 9 sequel.
Of
But
course.
if they're gonna continue like fooling around with the Antwoord,
No, I think
Yeah.
I think
I think
Blomkamp sort
Neil
of learned his
Blomkamp-
lesson.
yeah, I'm so glad. No, and you know what's actually kind of funny?
Hmm?
That movie tanked the Antwoord's career like completely.
Has it?
I think so. Have you heard any new songs from them lately?
Not particularly, but I don't listen to the radio. Like, or I don't listen
No,
to
not-
that part of the radio.
Neither do I, but the thing is that like I haven't heard anything about them in like ages. It's not to say that it's not listening to the radio. It's just that, you'd expect to be. They were so hyped at some point that like you heard about them vicariously without even like trying.
Yeah, very flash in the pan shit.
It's kind of like listening to Tweak.
Yeah, they're still doing stuff, but under a different name.
Oh, what are they called now?
Crash Car Burn, I think.
Oh, I've heard about Crash Burn.
Yeah.
Kind of like new agey. I swear they went the same way that Blink-182 went.
And Blink-182 brought a new album out like in this year or last year.
Mm-hmm. And how did that go?
Well, it's actually not a shitty album. Like, it's quite decent.
All right.
I mean,
Not gonna
it's
play
very
that on
reminiscent of like
stream.
the one before that, the one with the like the big reunion thing, big reunion like album.
Okay.
So
So
yeah.
they're still playing pop punk. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. The punk scene has, I guess, what to say, died, in essence.
Kind of. I don't know. It's just difficult to
There's-
find shit that doesn't come across as whiny.
I don't know. Like, I think that was one of its like standing points that it was whiny music.
Eh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Guys, if
yeah.
for those of you listening, sorry, if you guys do want to leave a comment or anything like that, or want us to talk about something very specific, please do go right ahead. We'll do the research right here on like live air and things like that. Those of you who will be listening to the YouTube video, it probably won't be live. We're very sorry about that, but you can always just message us. But yeah, so it's just me and Scratch. We're probably going to be here for about an hour. And then I'm going to go on with the music stream for about an hour and a half. So yeah, if If you guys do want to say anything, this being Leon, Wolfie, Addy, Dasporky, our moderator, is sitting here listening to us talk about absolutely nothing, which is great, and that's amazing, right? And also guest 702, who shares the number for the one radio station that I actually do listen to,
Is that kind of like
aside
Smile?
from this one.
Like
Huh?
we have Smile in the Cape, like Smile 90.4.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, you like 702, and there is a Cape Town station that actually cross over
What does
throughout
it
the
play?
afternoon.
What does your station play?
It doesn't play any music. It's a talk show.
Oh, it's a talk channel,
It's
talk
yeah,
radio.
yeah,
Okay.
which is actually fine. Like I love listening to it mostly because sometimes I hope to find some way to improve my own radio casting and like attempting to do whatever the hell I can
Hmm.
to get that right. You know, I mean, so we're always looking at ways to improve. Um,
As everyone
I
should.
know. Yeah, no, we are. So again, if you guys want to send us a mail, pop it over to south-afrifur at gmail.com
Or Twitter.
or Twitter.
Or in the chat.
I
Oh wait.
see. Yeah, or in the chat. Yeah, let us know if you don't want to like talk to us just now or just yet. You know, it's absolutely fine. We understand, sort of. Um, but yeah, so I mean, we're going to be talking about like a whole bunch of things over the next hour. Again, like chip in if you guys want to ask us random questions that we can try to answer. I'm relatively good at, I think, off the cuff answers that make absolutely no sense, which is exactly why I'm here most of the time.
Fortunately and unfortunately.
Yeah, I know, right? So yeah, like leave a comment, let us know, say that you love us, say that you hate us. It's absolutely fine by us as well. Like if you hate us, then very little we can do
Speak freely.
aside from yeah, speak freely. Let us know. So obviously, jeez, newest things that are going on now. What's it? FWA, FWG, the Furry Writers Guild, is finishing up with their nomination process for best writers for the Coyote Award
Yeah.
recently. So that's
Like
something that we need to look into at some point.
2 days left to vote, I think.
Yeah, 2 or 3 days. I think I saw it on Twitter that they were mentioning 3 days, but I think that was a day ago. So yeah, 2 days. 2 days for that to come out. The Coyote Awards are, where are they again? Which con?
I don't know. I think Midwest. No, Midwest is passed already.
Awards. Coyote Awards
Oh,
will be held in voting award will be held in. Oh, that's interesting. Kyle Gold is up for Coyote, which is awesome.
hmm
Um, yeah, actually, I wouldn't mind looking through this if that's okay.
sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kyle Gold with Black Angel, The Digital Coyote by Chris Schnee, Dog Country by Malcolm F. Cross, Flowers Curse by Madison Keller. This is best novel, by the way, and Memoirs of a Polar Bear, Yoko Tawada. Oh,
Interesting.
that's actually really cool. And then nominees for Best Novella, we've got Cul-de-sac by Robert Rapino, The Goat by Bill Kafer. That actually sounds a little bit like a horror. The Goat. And then The Time He Desires, also by Kyle Gold. Nominees for Best Short Story, 400 Rabbits by Alice Husky-Tear Dryden, A Gentleman of Strength by Dwayne, Old Dry Snakeskin by Ross Whitlock, The Torch by Chris Sparf Williams, and then Best Anthology, Anthroquatic, Claw the Way to Victory, Gods with Fur by Fred Patton, and Hot Dish, looks like Edition 2 by Dark End. All of those are the editors of these anthologies. That's actually pretty interesting. Like, I'm actually kind of happy that Cal Gold is still accepting nominations at
Well,
least somewhere.
yeah. Remember, this is the Furry Writers Guild, so it's
Yeah.
yeah. The competition there is sort of stiff, and if he's actually getting nominations there, that's sort
Mhm.
of I would accept that. I mean,
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh, wait. I actually just saw something. No, I didn't want to press back. I wanted to press reopen close tab.
It's Control-Shift-T is the shortcut.
The Coyotals are going to Furlandia.
Is that in Portland?
The next Coyotal Awards will be held at Furlandia in Portland, Oregon.
Called it.
During the last weekend of May.
That's pretty soon.
Yeah. Ceremony itself is tentatively scheduled for 7 p.m. on May the 27th, as Furlandia happens earlier in the year than the conventions we've previously held our awards ceremony at. We'll be moving up our schedule for nominations and voting. Okay. It's 11 days from now, so guys, keep your eyes open. We need to have something like Furlandia do.
What does Furlandia do?
Great question.
Like, I didn't know that Portland had its own FurCon, to be dead honest.
Attending membership for all 3 days of the convention is $45. I'm assuming that you have to get your own accommodation and everything like that.
Yeah, most likely.
Huh. Wow, that's actually pretty cool. So Furlandia is something out there. This is actually something that seems to be really, really awesome. Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, not Portland, Maine.
Or Portland. I don't know. How many Portlands are there, do you reckon?
Oregon and Maine, it's 2 in the US.
Is that it?
Yes. That's it.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm quite sure. Fine, I'll Google it.
List of cities in Oregon. It looks to be only Portland in Oregon, and only Oregon. Okay, Maine and the Isle of Portland. Fair enough. Okay, which is in England and a peninsula in the English Channel.
Yes.
There's Cape Portland in Australia, Portland, New South Wales,
Okay,
Portland,
I'm
Victoria.
looking at this Wikipedia article. We really don't have to go through all of these. It's just gonna fill time that we can. Yeah.
There's a Portland Street in Hong Kong.
There is a lot of, like.
There are a lot of Portlands.
Well, in the U.S., there's a ton of Portlands.
Yeah. Alaska, Arkansas, Colorado, Connecticut, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana,
Iowa,
Iowa,
Damn.
Kansas, Kentucky, Louisville, Maine, Michigan, Missouri, New York, North Dakota,
New York?
Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Texas, Dodge City, Wisconsin. Wow.
There are a lot of Portlands in the U.S.
Huh. I'm impressed. It's like every other state has a Springfield.
TIL.
Huh. Well, so the Coyotes are going to the one in
Oregon.
Help me. Oregon. Okay. I'm sorry. Immediately brain melted.
Seems like it.
So yeah, that. Ooh, yes. Not to mention the fact that our con is coming up. What's it in 2 months now?
Yep, 2 months from now.
Yeah, 2 days. 2 days from now. 2 months. No.
Months.
Oh, no. 2 months from now. Today.
Yes, actually yesterday. Today's the 14th? 14th, yeah, today. 2 months from today, you are correct.
So yeah, keep an eye out from that. We're obviously going to try somehow to be able to do a live podcast from there.
We'll see. I mean,
With the change in venue, the Wi-Fi is apparently quite spotty in the area. So we'll probably either pre-record something or find a way to do it. Maybe go into town and randomly leech off of the Wi-Fi in that area. Just a whole bunch of people in a car.
No, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what we can manage. I mean, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like that's the Coyote Awards. That's the convention. Just letting you guys know that it's still coming. Things have been a little bit slow in that sort of sense. We should probably No, should. We will be hyping up the advertising for that soon.
We are
Uh,
currently in the process of um, picking out a design for the T-shirt for the con, which all of the super sponsors get. If I'm not mistaken.
I think you're correct, yes.
Yes. So that's currently in the pipeline. Those should be done before the end of June, if all goes well.
Hmm.
So yeah,
That's correct, yes. Yeah.
things are kicking into gear.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely true.
Speaking of, we talked about the Kyoto Awards. Is the Ursa Majors on its way? Like, are the nominations closed already, or what's up there?
I think nominations are. Give me a second. Google. Come to me, Google.
What?
Ursa. What?
What are you whining about now?
I'm whining at Google.
Oh, is that
Okay,
what you
so
was?
voting for the 2016 Ursa Majors have closed, and results of the 2016 voting will be announced at Anthrocon.
Okay, cool.
I think. Wait. Yeah, nominations are closed. Voting is closed for 2016, so we'll be waiting for that in June of the 29th to July the 22nd. I wish the convention went on for as long as possible. Yeah.
Do you really want to organize all of that?
Uh, what?
Do you really want to organize all of that? A convention going on as long as that?
A month-long convention?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, totally. I think that sounds like a fuck me, no?
Yeah, no.
Mm-mm. All right, okay. That's so yeah, the Kyoto Awards for the Anthrocon are going to be happening. There's obviously like a lot of controversy around Anthrocon that's going on right now. Um, Maybe that's something that we can actually sort of touch on in respect to the idea of what people would call social justice warriors, and I guess the proliferation within our own society, or the anti-social justice warriors, I guess, as well. I'm not sure if we can touch on this or not. I'm not sure how your
I'm not super clued up
how
on it,
how,
but I mean,
how well versed.
we can, yeah, I'll try and keep up.
Yeah. So I mean, recently, or not recently. It's been about like a month or so, but what was it? Two recently got into a little bit of trouble about some of the things that he said on chat, um, citing it in essence as comedy, kind of a lot like Felix Kjellberg did. Those of you guys know PewDiePie. Was also in like a lot of hot water in respect to things that he'd done and or said on the stream that people got relatively upset with, and went on to sort of this what one could probably call a social justice warrior, attack in respect to the person's character and things like that. And I mean, I don't know, like what do you think? Like, where do we draw a line?
Uh, um, Let me think about this. You know what? I honestly don't know. Like, I've been thinking about this whole sort of social justice warrior thing, and like, I, in all honesty, think that there's a lot of extremism, a lot of like left versus right, us versus them, like
Mm,
like extreme picking of sides, and no one's really finding a middle ground. Like, um,
yeah.
some people are like,
Hmm.
"Oh, this is an enormous attack of freedom of speech, and everybody's taking everything too seriously, and blah 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 blah." And then there's the other side
Hmm.
who's just like really blowing stuff out of the water. Like, don't get me wrong, no one's really condoning the what happened back in the 1940s, obviously, but um,
Yeah.
it's I don't know I don't know what to make of it. Like, I always feel that if you don't joke about stuff, then it kind of does, like, doesn't really get handled or get processed or stuff like that. And I think a lot of people don't have the sort of the how can I put this, the introspection and the balance of mind and stuff like that to properly process stuff, like the absurdity of something like this. Like
Yeah,
if I'm thinking back to what PewDiePie did, I'm like, it's it's obviously absurd and it's obviously um like far fetched, but I mean, where where good taste in a joke lies is very, very subjective.
yeah, no, this is absolutely true. But then again, I don't know. Like we've gotten to a weird point in I think society
Mhm.
where irrespective of our age, irrespective of our experience, irrespective of what we actually know about what people are talking about,
Mhm.
we tend to want to just raise our opinion for whatever reasonings we give. Like, and it's I don't know. Like, I mean, I honestly don't know what parents teach their children these days. I'm not a parent. I don't know what goes on in schools. I know what goes on in universities, and I know that things happen there that are, kind of scary. In that, like some of the things that like recently happened to me, where somebody actually, you know, took something in a way that I thought that I was doing it correctly. Also had warned them um, that I'm a little bit abrasive when it comes to being a teacher, when it becomes to being an English lecturer at that as well. Um, and it's about, in essence, um, like we can be mindful as much as mindful can be.
Mhm.
We don't intend to tell people, to unless and there's I don't know, like there's a lot to actually like think about when it comes to this sort of perspective.
Mhm.
Um, One of them is possibly also that idea of, when or where do you limit yourself? And this is limiting yourself, not anybody else. You limit yourself as a person, limit your ideologies, limit your perspectives so that you would, I don't know, take care of the people around you, in essence, like look at other people and say, you know, I understand where you're coming from and things like that, or where do you sort of go towards this idea of, telling it like it is? I mean, comedians have been doing this for years. People have been getting upset at them more often than not recently,
Yeah.
to the point that I don't know, like it ruins the idea of comedy in the first place. I mean, for instance, do we really think that had we had these kinds of sensitivities that somebody like Robin Williams would have been funny?
Well, I mean, yeah, I completely understand that. I mean, the power of humor is not to be like snuffed at. There is a lot to be said about making light of horrible situations in or using levity to sort of uh, like alleviate issues or bring them to the forefront in a way that's not, excuse me for a second, in a way that's not like abrasive or challenging or anything like that. Um, if you can sort of laugh about something and see the absurdity in it or see the um, like
The hidden joke, in
yeah,
essence.
yeah, not even really the hidden joke, but I mean, you get what I mean. If you can,
Mm.
if you can see a situation for, not necessarily for like seeing the humor in something horrible, but like I don't know, like understanding the absurdity of it all. That's
Mm.
yeah, there's a lot to be said for that, but also it takes the right approach. Not everyone can be a comedian because not everyone has the right timing or the right approach or the right words to say in those regards. Like, um, and some of it's just not culturally acceptable. I mean, I can't talk about the shit that old school Eddie Murphy used to be able to talk about or that Chris Rock can talk about because I'm not black and I'm not
Mm.
entitled to say stuff like that. I'm not, yeah, um, like that kind of stuff. I mean, it's, ugh, dude, like I don't know, it's so subjective and such murky ground, but people need to be able to understand where like the levity and stuff comes from, but then also not being an asshole about stuff. Like I mean, you know as well as anyone that I haven't been super religious for quite some time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always sort of had a little bit of a bee in my bonnet about the kind of people who are very like, posting Bible verses on their Facebook and that kind of stuff. But in recent like months or years, I've kind of come to the conclusion that it's not in any way my position to judge what helps these people sort of get through life, even if it's something that I'm not like 100% on board with. I mean, some people turn to religion when times are tough. Some people turn to family. Some people turn to alcohol. I mean, I'm not saying that
Mm-hmm.
like any of them are more or less. Well, alcohol is always kind of destructive, but I mean that's might be a bad example.
Yeah.
But like some people find their support bases in different places, and I'm not gonna judge anyone for that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it what it takes you to get through the day is not necessarily what it takes me to get through the day, and I'm in no position to tell you that your way is any less valid than mine. Like
Mm-hmm.
for example, someone might, I don't know, meditate and do some introspection for like at the end of the day, just to sort of see what, yeah, like see what that brings for them. Other people choose to pray. Other people choose to veg out in front of the TV or write poetry or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone's trying to get through the day. That's all it is.
Yeah. I, you know what? I think you're absolutely right there. Is that, we should try to be both mindful, but also, just not try to, I guess, limit ourselves.
Hmm.
I'm I'm not sure if I've got that correct, but I mean, for instance, things like this, in essence, um, in Rocky Mountain Fur Cone, for instance, had
Hmm.
to do with something along that kind of level. Um, and all of these things keep on happening that it kind of, it's, yeah,
It sort of
it
feels like
makes so
it's.
much, yeah,
No, go ahead. I just derailed my own train of thought.
no worries. Jeez, Fred Patton does so many reviews.
Mm-hmm. You were saying Rocky Mountain
Wow.
Furcon?
I mean, like what happened there, for instance, this entire idea of like a group of people who, I mean, there's the burn fur movement. There's the like it seems to continue, like it goes longer and longer and longer. The more we look into it, um, I mean, there's if since April, since before that, since as things are going, um, I guess how I don't know, like, Rocky Mountain Furcon backs neo-Nazis, sex offenders to intimidate critic for reporting threat. For instance, this on April 10th is one of the things that was released about it. Now, I don't know, like, do we even understand anymore what that kind of entails, this entire idea of being a neo-Nazi? Whether it's about freedom of speech, whether if I was to say, you know what, I back these people for some of the views that they have, but not necessarily all of them, in that same sense that I would say that about, the Fees Must Fall people or the Afrikaans Must Fall people, that I agree with the premise that they have in respect to a various amount of things that they agree with, the things that they say, but it's not to say that I necessarily agree with the implementation,
Mm.
you know, and it gets so difficult um, to kind of think about. I want to see this quickly. This is interesting. Um, Reviewers slam furries for infesting her hotel. You'll cry when you see the manager's epic reply. Uh, Sounds terrible. Maybe next time. Oh, yeah. So, paid $330 a night, and it sucked. This place was dirty and had a furry convention on with no warning to other guests, managers, and a bad. I do not recommend. Also, they are on the price line for 89 a night. Wouldn't even bother. Manager should be fired. Sounds terrible. Maybe next time she would even bother. if the hotel didn't have such a bad manager. He didn't give a warning about the fluff balls trying to get away with heinous activities like hugs, making art, or getting treated with basic common decency.
Mm.
This is interesting. What could be worse than dirty furry trash? I resemble that remark. Well, I'll tell you, someone who's racist against furries.
Uh,
Oh boy, that honestly
I wouldn't call it
opens a
racist.
completely different can of worms. Racism against furries.
Prejudice, perhaps, but that's yeah, because prejudice I think is all encompassing enough.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah. See, this is why I believe like introspection and meditation is something that needs to be a little bit more widely taught and like understood. People need to be able
Mhm.
to like step back a bit and just realize when they're being a douche.
Yeah. That's insane. Discrimination. Like discrimination would be fine. Racism, not so much.
Yeah.
We're not a race of people. We're all inclusive. That kind of differentiates in and of itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me. Hmm. That's actually pretty cool. Like some of the most interesting things that have been coming up here on Dogpatch Press that I'm just looking through right now.
Hmm.
March is Furry Women's Month. April is Furry Poets Month.
It's a
That's
month
actually
for
pretty
everything, it seems.
interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So that's awesome. Like it seems like this is all happening. Too uncool a furry celebrity's disgrace is a test of fandom tolerance. That's obviously to the dragon.
Griffin.
Uh, Griffin, the ranting Griffin. Yeah, what am I talking about?
Hmm.
Hmm. I don't know. Like it's. I guess it's the wording that we use in a lot of things, and it's the way that we actually actively attempt to speak about things. And if you're trying to get that little tagline as a either as a newscaster or anything like that, you say things like racism against furries. What are you really going to do aside from get more people to read you because it becomes clickbait? I mean,
Mm.
I think that's one of our biggest problems, though.
What the fact that the attention economy has like stunted our ability to think critically so much that like clickbait is actually sort of semi-successful.
No, exactly that. But it exactly does or encompasses that kind of ideology that clickbait is this it's real news. It's literally like finding out, oh, 50 facts that you didn't know. And you kind of sit there going like, well, 25 of these facts are factually incorrect, although technically correct.
Hmm.
It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or like 50 facts you didn't know. Narwhals use their like long tooth to, you know, hit fish to stun them.
Which is true, as we figured out.
Which has recently been found out.
Yeah.
But then again, like it's not like narwhals use that tooth to stab people at like ramming speed.
Yeah.
Although that would be pretty damn awesome. It's just that how the fuck do they get it off then?
You don't. Well, you don't. You just sort of flail around until it like I don't know dislodges.
Eventually, eventually, let's go.
I mean, maybe they'll evolve in the same way the stingray does, that it can sort of detach and grow a new one.
Yeah.
Rip Steve Irwin.
Crikey. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
You respect that man.
I do respect him actually. He's really awesome. Was really awesome.
Hmm.
Uh, Doge actually is one of the biggest fans of Steve Irwin, and it's actually kind of interesting. Like Steve Irwin was possibly one of the reasons why he became both a furry and
A
interested in nature
conservationist.
management.
Is it
So
con?
that's actually pretty awesome. I like that. I respect that a lot.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, like it's such a fine line. It's such a difficultly fine line to actually go and sort of stand with or not stand with.
Mm.
I'm not going to take the CNN route on this one. Both sides do tend to have some answers when spoken to in a normal way,
Hmm.
just general chit chat, you can sort of understand to an extent why a person would do this or why they wouldn't do this or why they would engage in something like that or not engage in it, particularly because, you know, it's all about seeing a person's point of view. The thing is that at the end of the day, are you going to just disagree with them because you disagree with them on like that kind of level, or do you want to hear them out and see why they think that? You can obviously attempt to change their mind, obviously non-confrontationally, because I think that's also one of our big issues, that we're stuck constantly confronting the issue as though it affects us directly,
Hmm.
and that's actually kind of stupid.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
how many times does it actually affect you? It's like, look at, for instance, um, I consider it's a piece of poetry as well in and of itself. The kind of questions asked by somebody like Macklemore in White Privilege 2. I'm here because I support you, but, you know, do I really need to be here? Can I be here? Is there a reason as to why I should be here? And people attack you for being there to support them, and you kind of sit there going, well, fine, I won't support you, and then you get attacked for not supporting them.
mm, yeah, no, it's yeah. Where do you draw the line? Yeah, it's very true. Like, where do you draw the line between like helping and just like letting other people help themselves, kind of thing?
Mm.
Like, I completely understand the concept of like what privilege does, but it's difficult to sort of, how can I say this? Like it's
It's
difficult to help out in a
difficult
way
to
that
see
doesn't seem
past.
condescending, like, or doesn't seem like
Yeah.
pity.
But in that same sense, it's that kind of like it's that small argument right there. Like when am I just doing it to be part of whatever fucking in crowd I want to be part of,
Hmm.
and when am I doing it when I'm actively supporting you?
Yeah.
It's that sort of like two white girls kind of like, and I'm gonna put it out like that as a sort of racist and probably misogynistic perspective. Um, is that you have the extreme stereotype of the blonde, privileged white girl, sitting there going like, in essence, if you really wanted to put it into like sort of perspective, Marie Antoinette kind of way. I don't understand what the hell their problem is.
Mm.
It's exactly that. You know, why are they complaining? What are they complaining about?
Why don't they just eat cake?
Yeah, weirdly enough, not actually said by her, said by somebody else, but she was more speaking towards a bread,
Hmm.
like a very, very expensive bread, but still bread.
Hmm.
Um, it doesn't necessarily make her stupid. In fact, like the vast majority of people during the French Revolution were kind of stupid, especially the what you would call the privileged masses. I say masses, sorry, the privileged few. Um,
I thought you were going to say the serfs.
the serfs. Now, you serfs, get out of my way. I need to eat my cake. I don't know. But it's that kind of like sort of thing where, obliviousness could be seen as, racism and things like that. But the very fact that you attack them on it, like almost immediately, it's not to say that they know any better. It really isn't to say that they know any better or know any worse or anything like that.
Yeah.
And like on a case by case basis, speak to them about it. Don't attack them about it.
Mm.
And I think that like, I mean, it's very easy, and I'm pretty sure that we're doing it ourselves here. It's very easy to, on a platform between like two people, irrespective of where you're speaking to a whole bunch of people out there, to, not step on toes.
Yeah. Pretty sure we
Um,
already did.
yeah. Like I said, I mean, like I had a student. She's gone now. She's left the campus. She was extremely upset about the way that I teach. Um, and to the point that I technically have a restraining order set against me. Like that kind of
Does
stuff.
she have a restraining
And
order against you or vice versa?
No, no, no. She put a restraining order against me. She literally said that if I was to contact her in any way, that she would not hesitate to go to a lawyer.
Wow.
Sure.
Because why for?
Because I'm apparently abrasive and I'm apparently like high sexually content in respect to the way that she feels about how I lecture. The worst thing is that I believe that the straw that broke the camel's back was the term cuck out.
Like Afrikaans cock out or to cock someone
Yeah,
out or
like Afrikaans cuck out.
okay.
Like I'm gonna give you a shit out now.
Yeah, like yeah, for context to people who don't know, it's just like uh to literally translated to shit someone out, like or to shit on someone is kind of like just uh, berating, like challenging
Yeah,
them sort of
berating.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like your parents would cuck you out if you like broke a pane of glass in the house or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And beyond that, it was also me using the perspective that the way that we action words sometimes gets to tell us what these people are saying and how these people are saying it,
Mhm.
and whether we could believe it or not through the context of the words that are being used. And I mean, like the most obvious one to use for me at this point was Bill Clinton's assertion about Monica Lewinsky when asked about his relationship with her.
Mhm.
You know, he went and said, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And I said, it would have been easier and probably more believable had he left out the superfluous words. Like, I didn't have sex with her. That kind of thing is immediately something that you could say, right?
Mm.
And that
Yeah.
was far too, like, you know, heavily sexual for this girl, lady, woman,
Person.
to be able to handle. And the worst thing is that apparently she had issues with me beforehand, but you know, people hadn't told me about it. So when you're not told about it, if you're not actively spoken to on something like this, it's gonna happen again, and there's literally nothing you can do about it
Mm.
because you're not informed. And if you're angrily informed about it, the thing is that it's probably going to happen again because the person's beginning to spite you.
Yep.
You know, screw your sensitivities. This is university.
Mm.
Um,
You're not here to be
get your shit
mollycoddled.
right or get the fuck out.
Oh. You're yeah.
That's
You're here
mm,
to not here to be fucking mollycoddled. It's like yeah.
mm. It's amazing that I used that exact word, mollycoddled,
Mm-mm.
because that's exactly what it felt like. It felt like I was, you know, firstly, my entire integrity had been put into, you know, a very, very sort of random light for me. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to be doing with this kind of perspective. I wasn't sure how I was supposed to deal with that. Oh, shoot. I have been listening to myself speak for a while, and Mind has actually been messaging on first stream, and I forgot to open up the chat here.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's kind of some of the perspectives that are out there. Apparently, Mind got frightened um, by us about 48 minutes ago. Like, ah, okay. So the rain is flooding his internet connection at seams. Um,
Oh yeah. We
asks
we do seem to
us,
be dropping every now and then.
I
Yeah, but that, yeah, it's
Mind if
my
you are
crappy
listening, go
connection.
over to fur.fm. I think we're a bit stronger there.
Only just barely. It's
Mm,
dropped now it seems.
crack,
Yeah,
crack.
I know.
Mm.
Um,
But anyways, he does have some pertinent questions. I know that we're switching topic almost
yeah,
immediately. If we want
let's
to,
just
we
hold
can
up
pick
for
that
a
up
sec.
again.
Let's just hold up for a sec.
Hmm.
Um, and seems like we're back. Yeah, apologies, my connection is a little bit unstable here today. Okay, we're
All
back.
right, no worries. So Mind asks, you know, what we think about the South African news covering a fur con here in South Africa. We have actually spoken about this, about getting the mainstream media involved. At present, we technically think that the South African population is a little bit too conservative, especially amongst, on a cultural and traditional perspective, in that I'm not necessarily sure. I'm not sure if we're necessarily sure how it would be received.
Hmm.
Granted, try it out, but then again, once bitten, twice shy kind of thing.
Hmm.
We don't want to be shot out of the water 5 seconds before everything starts.
Yeah.
And actually, there we go. How do you guys think about the people here in South Africa? How will they take it? And how the news channel will present it as well as their reaction. I literally think that there was an article recently that didn't necessarily speak very well of the fandom as a whole, especially up here in Centurion. Those of you guys who had seen the article itself, it spoke about social grooming. It spoke about a whole bunch of other really, really creepy things that had happened. So I don't know. I'd be very, very, very wary about how to do that. And I think that technically we'd need to find a way to say it
Hmm.
that is completely and utterly non-confrontational. And even then, I'm pretty sure it'd be taken in a completely different perspective. At present, we'd rather not have it in mainstream media. And if we're going to have it in mainstream media, it would be after it was done,
Yeah.
where we talk about the success
Mm.
of the convention itself. I think. I hope that answers mine's question. Um, so yeah, it's such a tough road to go down. I mean, like the thing is that we can say, oh no, but Europe's done it well, America's done it well, and if ANN 7 picked it up, or if the radio picked it up and things like that, then maybe they'll take a little bit of an interest into it. I know that I've heard, I don't know, no, I haven't. I haven't heard any sort of positive feedback from there, mostly because there is no feedback. So it's a what do you call it? A double-sided what? Something sword.
A double-edged sword.
Double-edged sword,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think.
Yes,
Yeah. I
English
think.
lecturer here, guys.
I
Yeah.
think personally, it would behoove us to just keep it quiet for now, see how it goes. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Like, I am sort of very much under the impression that this is gonna be like a just like sort of a fun, wholesome get together. Nothing like crazy, nothing out of the ordinary happening. Um,
Mm.
but I mean, yeah. Let us first see what happens before we throw the floodgates open and see what the public says about this.
Yeah. Just give me 2 seconds.
Sure.
I had to use my cough button
Me too.
there.
Constantly. Still a bit sick.
No. Hmm. No. With this weather, I'm not necessarily sure how long I'm going to be not sick.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, it really is a tough question to sort of answer. In more liberal countries, I think it would be easier to do this. But like with the social standing, it makes it a bit difficult. And mine actually responds with, he doesn't. I think it's a he. They don't think that SA or South Africa is not ready for the subculture to be exposed to the world or to the news. However, that would present some other furs to make aware of this con and the people like you guys. So,
Yeah. Again, I'd kind of just like let this blow over for a bit. I mean, maybe. Excuse me one second. Maybe like for small local paper or something, fine. But this doesn't need to be like a big thing. Because I mean, hell,
yeah.
there's already people are still digging in their heels about stuff like Pride.
Mm,
So I mean, another thing like this sort of celebrating weirdness kind of thing. I don't think people are going to be super keen on all this kind of stuff like coming through the woodworks.
yeah.
But I could be wrong.
And I mean, and again, like if you really, really had to dig into this, and especially here in South Africa, like there's a very, very high concentration of Caucasian people In fact, if I'm not mistaken, like 99.9% of the furries at this point are, white.
Mm-hmm.
If it comes out like that, or if the question like that is asked, why are you guys only a white group of people? And at the end of the day, it'll probably just come across as, we're just a whole bunch of people who are privileged enough to have enough money to buy like fursuits. And then, I don't know, fursuits must fall. So,
Christ, don't even start.
I laugh about this, but I'm literally imagining that it would become a possibility. It could become a possibility. It really does sound like it would happen like that. We're stuck in the craziest world at this point. Like, I mean, Scratch,
I'm here.
for a long period of time, I really thought that, like, there were points that I was literally sitting down at times, like, thinking about what I've done so far, how I've been moving forward, what we've been doing, and literally been sitting here going, like, I am completely and utterly fucking nuts. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know why the hell I'm doing it. I really just want to try and do these things, but I'm doing this because I'm nuts, because I'm crazy, because I have nothing better to do with my time. Things like that. Like literally my brain's going through this kind of stuff and I'm just like, wait, no. That's not necessarily correct. But the shit that has been going on in the world today
In the
literally makes
country,
me sit here and go, oh my God, I'm kind of normal.
in comparison.
In comparison, no, exactly that. I mean, and I don't know. Like we've become so hyper conservative, but not hyper conservative. Stellenbosch recently, if I'm not mistaken, not
Christ
sure if you saw
almighty.
the news article,
Yeah.
found what's it, neo-Nazi, actual
Nazi-inspired
neo-Nazi posters
posters in the
on
fucking
walls talking about save Stellenbosch
yeah,
for a meeting.
yeah, like save Afrikaans and Stellenbosch, like the Anglo-African like student or something like that. Save the Anglo-African
Yeah,
student.
I'm just sitting here going like,
What?
we're in enough, like, I mean, like we're in a tight enough spot as it is when it comes to, being, I guess,
White in this country.
and yeah, I mean, I say tough in like certain words, but the thing is that, we are privileged. It happens. I acknowledge that. I do completely acknowledge that. And I acknowledge that BEE should be better. I also acknowledge that triple B double E should be better.
hmm
It's the implementation of what they're doing that is really, really stupid. It's terrible.
Yeah, we could say the
But
same about government. It's supposed to be better, but what they're doing is just dumb as shit.
it's really dumb as shit. Like, they, Donald Trump would do a better job. And it's really
Uh,
terrible for me to say that.
yeah.
His administration is better than ours.
Barely. Better at what is the question?
Good question. I don't know.
Misdirection? Like,
Kim Jong Un would do better here. I don't know.
uh,
China.
keep, keep fishing for something better. You'll probably find.
Okay. Um,
Because
Angela Merkel.
you know shit, dude. Obviously, like I would love Angela Merkel here. She'd just be like, she would let you just like slap the shit out of everyone and be like, get in line, in order. It's like Angela doesn't take shit, and I respect that woman for that.
Yeah. And I mean, for those of you who are German who are listening to us talk about this right now, like we respect your prime minister quite a lot,
Mm.
irrespective of whether you do or not. Whatever she's done, may have upset you in one way or another. Oh, that's another thing we should probably say. Happy Mother's Day to those of you who are
Yeah.
mothers out there.
Oh yeah, right. That thing.
Yeah, those things.
No, no, not like
I
that thing. The Mother's Day, not those things. As in, oh, moms, right? They exist. Yeah. Happy Mother's Day to everyone.
they exist and they're lovely people mostly,
Mhm.
It's a thing.
Happy Mother's
But
Day.
yeah, um,
Happy Mother's Day.
happy Mother's Day. Did you see your mom today?
I did.
Mm. How's she doing?
Yeah, she's doing well. Nothing major. And they're about that age where they're starting to like. Well, first they needed to help look for some cables, which appears to be my life with my parents these days. Otherwise, yeah, they're at that stage where they're like aiming for retirement, so they're trying to get their ducks in line for that.
Yeah. It's tough sometimes. I think I need a poke Doge to tell him to phone his mom. Yeah. So that's a thing. Yeah, apparently, obviously, on our side, you were talking about FanCon, your side, or no, it was FanCon, yeah?
Yeah. You guys had Geek Fest,
Our
right?
side was, yeah, our side was Geek Fest this weekend. Apparently, it was a lot of fun. I didn't go. I had other commitments that I needed to fulfill.
Well, the looks of things, it rained like a bitch, though. Like it completely almost rained out.
It's still raining. It is literally still raining. It kind of, there were points in the afternoon that it stopped, and I think that the snow has hit the Drakensberg. So we're suffering a little bit. I'm literally like, I would normally sit in shorts and maybe the hoodie. Now I'm wearing long pants, socks, the hoodie, a shirt under, everything. I'm frigid at this point. My feet, I can't feel them. Well, I can feel them, but the thing is that all I can actually feel in them is cold.
Yeah, well, better than it's going here. I mean, we haven't had rain in forever. They're gonna most likely bump up water restrictions even more soon, unless we get some proper rain over the winter. We are legitimately screwed. Like, like holy shit! It's like, yeah, we need a lot of rain.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping that you guys do actually get a lot of rain soon. Because yeah, no, we need wine.
I mean, we're like sort of piloting desalination plants at this point, like, or running pilot desalination plants to just make sure that we can at least do shit like that. Yeah.
The worst thing is, right, is that for I don't know how many years, we've known that South Africa is a sub-Saharan country, which means that it's drought prone. Which means that things like this should have been looked into 5 years ago. But the issue, of course, is when things are going well, we don't need to do anything about it. It's like, yeah, no, cool. Everything seems to be running on power 20 years ago. 10 years later, holy crap, we're going to run out of power in 10 years. It takes us 10 years to put up the first silo of like a power station. And then suddenly power cuts for fucking 5 years. And OMG, what the fuck just happened? Oh, we should blame other people for this.
Of course. Fucking politics.
Desalination should literally have been started like goodness knows when. It should have been the thing to do already.
Yeah, but it's a very inefficient process at this point. Like, it's not, or at least I think it is a very like power hungry process. So yeah, it's not super financially viable in most cases.
According to the government, it's financially viable considering that we have power and we're literally able to fucking send it to Botswana and Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I suppose, but I mean, still. I mean, we do have enough power, but it's not like doing stuff like that on an enormous scale is gonna take like a lot of power, and it's gonna be expensive as shit.
Yeah. It's okay. The government also seems to need more money to be able to continue with what it's doing.
Did you see the shit that they like very briefly flirted with the new like TV license nonsense?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Guys, just so you know, and just for clarification, those of you who are listening, imagine the following situation, right? Firstly, the television in your home, irrespective of whether you bought it or not, belongs to
irrespective of whether
the
you
state.
use it or not.
Yeah, irrespective of whether you use it or not, or irrespective. In fact, if you use a television screen as a desktop monitor, even. Imagine having to pay a yearly license to be able to use it.
That is our TV licenses.
This is our TV licenses. The vast majority of us don't pay it because we find it to be an absolutely stupid thing to do.
And
some people do.
Yeah, I pay it, but I mean, the government entity that runs that thing is absolutely batshit insane.
Bonkers.
Cloudy Matsuning is
Yeah,
off his fucking rocker.
yeah, no, agree. However, so the next thing that happened, and weirdly enough, this wasn't something done by Cloudy Motsoeneng,
Hmm.
but it was the interim board that had thought or considered this idea. So your TV, or at least the use of your TV, is one thing. The use, however, of your tablet and your cell phone and anything that is
Anything that has a
mobilely
screen, essentially.
connected and streams things will also be licensed, and you have to pay for the fact that you own one.
That is a bonkers idea.
Consider that kind of perspective just for a couple of seconds. It's like having a dog tax, which South Africa still has, that nobody knows, that nobody pays for because it's not paid for.
Because
So
no
a
one
dog tax
enforces it.
is literally the tax of owning a dog.
And there's also the unofficial Cape Town tax.
Oh, is that right? Of course, but that's an unofficial tax, and that's mostly because it doesn't matter where you stay, everything's just more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mind obviously says, I'm sorry, but fuck that shit. I'm more than in agreement with that kind of perspective.
I think the public is also like I didn't read up completely, but by the looks of things, like literally all I saw was one of those like newspaper headline things that
Yeah.
essentially just said like people are like it's not gonna happen. Like no one's
Yeah.
gonna pay that.
Peop yeah. It's pretty much like the tax that we pay both on our petrol and to use our own roads that the petrol should have in fact paid for.
Yeah, we are taxed like up the arse in this country.
The thing is that if the tax was actively used
Mm.
for that which it was taxed for,
Hmm.
it would be okay.
But yeah,
But if you're going to overly hit the I don't know, the middle class, which is a shrinking middle class in South Africa,
hmm,
um, with nonsense taxes, because you continually squander millions, billions of rands per annum
on bullshit.
on bullshit, on not even on bullshit, but on people's 30 million rand, severance pay for working in a position for 3 months, kind of bullshit.
Then people are gonna start getting pissy.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately one of the things that is going to happen here. If anything, you may at one point hear that I'm not necessarily sure about Scratch, but that one or two of us may have, decided to join some sort of stupid revolution
Yeah.
for no other reason aside from save the goddamn country.
Hmm.
Hmm.
As long as like the only reason why, excuse me,
Hmm.
the only reason why I'm still paying taxes is because A, the company pays it for me, and B, I don't want us to turn out like Venezuela.
Yeah, or Brazil.
It was Venezuela or
Unfortunately,
Brazil?
yeah. Well, Brazil had like terrifying. Brazil and South Africa are very, very close together on an economic level. Um, but there are also various differences. But the thing is that semi-socialist state, blah 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 blah. An attempt to grow, I don't know, capitalist perspectives is being quelled. Again, there has to be a balance between the one and the other, I think. But yeah, I think honestly on that bombshell and on that note, since we're already 10 minutes over the time
Why
that
do
we
we always get to
decided.
politics?
Yeah, we look, the thing is that politics are things that are important to our, day-to-day lives. And I think that what, this is possibly the first podcast that we've had together in about when it comes to podcasts, in like the last 5 or 6 of them,
Yeah,
that we've actively spoken about this.
fair point.
Mm. So it might actually be it's an interesting sort of perspective. Welcome to South Africa. Welcome to many countries in the world. We're trying, I think. Many of us are trying. Some
Yeah.
of us aren't, but many of us are trying.
We're all just trying to, yeah,
Whew.
we're all just sort of trying to
Yeah.
squeeze out a living.
Mind actually has one final comment here. He says they also read something about the SABC wanting to put on licenses on tablets and phones due to service providers like Netflix being streamed to tablets, phones, and smart TVs. SABC confronted Netflix about paying licenses for streaming shows. I remember that in SA. And Netflix said something to the account of "fuck you," which is exactly correct. I think, like, but if the net neutrality thing gets pushed through, the term "fuck you" might not necessarily be the correct thing to do. The government might then actually clamp down on you.
No, but yeah, well, net neutrality is only like that's a sort of it's not a global thing. It's not like if the US passes some sort of bill, then it's going to be legal here or whatever. But I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, but it does set a
but the thing
precedent.
is, it does set a precedent and it puts people into positions to then use the that movement as a movement to say, oh no, but America is doing it, so maybe we should do that too.
Yeah, and it's not going to take much to convince anyone in this government to go, oh look, here's another like point that we can tax. Here's another like
Hmm.
avenue of tax. Because I mean, in all honesty, the whole digital tax thing that was going to come in, like tax on digital goods, I'm
Yeah.
kind of okay with that because I mean, it does like it will bring us in line with the tax codes of other countries because
Hmm.
digital stuff needs to be taxed at some point as well. They are
Yeah.
goods regardless, but I mean, it is kind of shitty
Not
that my
everything is free.
yeah, not, it's still kind of shitty that my Steam games are going to cost more now. But yeah, I don't know, like everything is being taxed in this country, like fuel levies, like the road tax, like UIF,
Yeah.
all that nonsense. I don't see a penny of where my tax money goes to.
Yeah,
I don't see.
especially not on the roads.
Yeah, well,
In Cape Town,
here
the
at
roads
least
are
it's
10
fine.
times better.
Yeah.
Like, irrespective of the fact that they haven't extended your, like, highway
They're busy with that
to
now.
more lanes. Yeah, they're busy on that now, but the thing is that have you seen an increase in your tax on that?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which means that they're using the tax that they use on your fuel levy as the correct one.
Yeah. But I mean, we've always known that Cape Town is at least, competent with the shit that they pull off.
As much as it can be.
Yeah. The Cape Town government is not trying to actively screw anyone over by looks, but then again, you guys do have someone who is like really clamping down on that shit now.
Yeah. As Mind actually puts it, I'm not going to pay taxes for every additional service on a data line that is already being paid for. Those
Hmm.
taxes should be taken off from the payment that we're already making.
Yep, that is indeed true.
Tax the company, not the people.
Yeah, but I
But then
mean,
again, tax the company then just raises their price. How does that work? How does this win?
yeah,
It doesn't.
yeah. At the end of the day, it's just the consumer paying for everything. I mean, the
Yeah.
whole sugar tax thing, same thing.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
Coke's just gonna push the price
Goodness
up.
me, I hate that ad.
What ad?
The
Is there like a
sugary tax
sugar attack
ad.
ad? Sugar tax attack
Yeah,
ad.
there's an ad for that. Like it literally starts with a can opening
Yeah.
and like the drink pouring and things like that, and then it starts telling everybody about the fact that what, we need to tax this because it's bad for your health.
Mhm.
I'm kind of sitting here going like, cool, you know, it's bad for my health, my health. For once, aside from smoking, like at the end of the day, they're already putting up sin taxes for booze, for cigarettes and things like that. Great. That's
Mhm.
absolutely, I'm okay with this. I know I'm doing a bad thing there. But when it comes to the idea of like having a heart attack or anything like that,
Mhm.
my body, unfortunately, I'm going
Yeah.
to screw it up whichever way I want to.
Yeah. The libertarian in me is also just like, you know what? Like, fuck it. If I wanna eat badly, drink a lot, and fucking like have sugary beverages, then so be it. But I don't
Yeah.
because like normal Coke hurts my teeth after a while.
Yeah. It's why I've started moving over to wine, actually, because
What do you
coffee
mean?
is
Like,
just bad for you.
okay, yeah, sure. That's infinitely healthier.
Mm-hmm. Become a wino. Lose weight.
Well, I have mentioned the benefits of the pop sock, right?
Yeah.
Like when,
Turn it into a pillow.
yeah, exactly.
Yep. All right, guys. I think that is pretty much all we have time for. We're gonna we're gonna play a little bit of music up until 10:30 from now. But yeah, thank you, Scratch, for joining us this evening. Really appreciate your work. Really, really appreciate
Yeah,
your commentary. It's always
thank me for
awesome.
joining us.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you for joining us all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for not letting me be the only voice on
Y- I'm
on
you,
this.
you and I both know there's more than one voice in your head.
Yeah, no, there's several.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a split situation. Which, don't spoil it for me. I still want to watch that.
What?
The movie Split.
Oh, okay. Haven't watched it.
It's the new M Night Shyamalan movie.
Okay. Am I sure that I really want to watch that?
It's gotten very good reviews so far,
Okay.
and it has James McAvoy in it.
Who?
Young Professor X.
Oh, that
J-
obviously makes things 100% better.
James McAvoy. He's not a shit actor,
Young Professor X was a bad Professor X.
but he's a good actor.
Yeah, no, he's a great actor, but then again, like, I don't know. I steer away from M. Night Shyamalan movies.
Hmm. I mean, but this is apparently his like a decent resurgence of his,
Okay,
from what I hear.
that's good to hear. I'll check a couple of reviews. Alrighty, guys, we'll see you guys next week. Either music or an interview. We'll see how that goes throughout this weekend.
Yep.
And then, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Obviously, for those of you listening, stick around. We're going to be playing music in about 10 minutes from now. And yeah, have a good one.
Cheers, guys. Have a good evening.